Right now on Denver 7 News at 6. Overnight, Aurora's controversial solution for homelessness takes another step forward.
I'm Denver 7's Christian Lopez. City leaders approved the camping ban, but it's not a done deal just yet. The changes made to it.
Plus, an encouraging sign, Colorado's economy is bouncing back.
I think things are picking up just a little bit.
The number of jobs our state has recovered since the start of the pandemic.
There is still that really nice, bright, hopeful attitude.
And the Broncos are making plays during their free agency period. The new deal they're working out to help fill the gaps in our defense. The arrival of Russell Wilson came at a price, but nonetheless, it's a price many fans are more than willing to pay.
Yeah.
Good morning, I'm Micah Smith.
And I'm Brian Sanders. Spring training is also back for the Rockies. We're going to hear from them later on. And you'll want to get outside and enjoy one more day of this spring-like warm weather. Katie LaSalle joins us ahead of some changes in our forecast.
Yeah, some changes on the way for tomorrow, but this afternoon it is going to be bright, beautiful, and warm. Outside this morning, we're waking up to clear skies. Temperatures in the upper 30s out at DIA. Feels like we're in the high 20s with southwesterly winds sustained around 10 to 15 miles per hour. Just some high clouds off to the west. Dry conditions statewide. Temperatures in the single digits and teens into the mountains, 20s and 30s over the majority of the plains. Taking us through Futurecast will warm up quickly. Plenty of sunshine, 45 degrees right around 9:30, and we'll see daytime highs top out in the low to upper 60s. Denver over northeastern Colorado, 70s down south, where fire danger is elevated just because we have strong winds over the southeastern plains. And then here comes our next storm, increasing cloud coverage by this time tomorrow morning, and snow will start to move into the mountains. It'll be a rain shifting to snow mix here for the metro area, so Colette by Thursday morning could see some slick roadways across town.
Air Tracker 7 is officially up. It's my favorite view of your morning commute. Last check, they were near 25 and Thornton. You can see some cars definitely starting to get out on the roads, whether or not you're heading to work or you have the day off because it's spring break. Either way, you might be on the roads this morning. Now take a look here at our CDOT cameras. You can definitely see here on 25, we are starting to see more cars out in the metro, but still your drive times look great here on the map. Most of it in green. You've got some of that typical slowing there on Colfax here. But nothing really too troublesome this morning. People taking it nice and slowly out there. All your drive times, no matter where we go in town, they're in the green. So no need to adjust your routes or anything like that.
A lot of people out there early. Thank you, Colette. A controversial issue in Aurora is moving forward. Aurora City Council approved an amended version of their camping ban proposal.
Denver 7's Christian Lopez joins us live. Christian, this issue will be back for another vote in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it will be, and that's because they added an amendment to it, but it wasn't the one Mayor Kaufman had originally proposed. Now, for the most part, this ordinance will stay the same. The city still has to give people 72 hours notice to move and make sure that there's enough shelter space available. And if people don't comply, they could get a ticket or be arrested. But the mayor was trying to add an amendment clarifying people found to be illegally camping wouldn't receive a court summons or be convicted. But that proposal didn't get a second in council and it was defeated. But council member Crystal Murillo did introduce an amendment to temporarily store personal belongings cleaned up from these camps.
We are taking away everything that people have in this world with this ordinance. How dare we not even provide an opportunity to store that safely for people? How dare we? This is everything that people own.
Amendment directs city manager to come up with a plan for storage, and the earliest that this ordinance could come back to city council is 2 weeks from now, and if it passes then it would take effect 30 days later, so as early as April 30th. I'm Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
Thank you, Christian. Overnight, Ukraine's capital announced a 35-hour curfew. Residents will be prohibited from leaving their homes without special permits starting here in about 7 hours. At least 4 residential buildings across Kyiv were hit by strikes overnight. And we have video showing a rocket crashing into the city street there that killed 1 person, injured 6 others. And new this morning, the UN says more than 3 million people have fled Ukraine since the invasion. Tomorrow, the International Court of Justice will issue a ruling on claims that Russia is committing genocide. Russia did not show up for hearings on the case last week, which Ukrainian officials said speaks loudly about their actions in the war. Meanwhile, Colorado is helping Ukraine any way it can. The state collected more than 1,000 pieces of body armor. The donations were from more than 25 Colorado law enforcement agencies. The state is working with partners to deliver those donations to Ukrainians defending their country.
Caught on video, a 24-year-old is arrested and accused of assaulting an RTD security officer. RTD says it began when the officer asked Shannon Hamilton for his ticket Saturday morning. Eventually, the train came to a stop and Denver police helped detain the suspect.
We're grateful for people who called 911. We do ask our customers to be kind of our boots on the ground, our eyes when they're out there.
At one point during the arrest, a gun appeared on the ground. You can see it there. Denver police say it was an airsoft gun that belongs to Hamilton. He's charged with trespassing, disturbing the peace, and assault. Heart-stopping video shows the moment a car crashed into the back of a Fort Collins police cruiser. The cruiser was parked on the side of the road. The car came inches away from hitting the officer standing nearby. This happened last month, but police just released it as a warning about reckless driving.
Well, we are finally starting to see a return to some pre-pandemic normalcy. More places and events are dropping their COVID safety precautions, and now we're learning just how well Colorado's economy is rebounding. Denver 7's Veronica Acosta joins us live this morning because, Veronica, Colorado has recovered almost all the jobs it lost when the pandemic hit.
And most of the jobs we lost in those first 2 months of the pandemic, get this, they're now back. At least that's what state economists are saying. And they say this is a really great rebound for the state of Colorado. They expect the next job report, which actually comes out in about 10 days or so, to show that we've recovered 100% of the losses. Now, one thing that's not back to those pre-pandemic levels, that's unemployment. Then the other challenge that a lot of businesses are facing right now is the supply chain issues that we've heard so much about. Bandit Oak Brewing, that's a small brewery here in Denver, they're definitely feeling that pinch. Those supply chain issues forcing them to actually go ahead and boost up the price of their beers.
We're small, we don't distribute, so it's very transparent what we are able to create at what cost, and then we do have to pass some of that on. And it's been happening for a while before we had to increase costs on the menu. So it just kind of got to a point where it's like, okay, this is going to affect the way we run it.
So if you're wondering about those menu increases, Bandit Oak Brewing says they've had to bump up their beer prices about 50 cents or so because raw materials are just so expensive right now. And again, those supply chain issues. As for the economy and those jobs, economists say they expect our employment to be at 3% sometime this year. We're in Denver this morning. I'm Veronica Acosta, Denver 7.
All right, thank you, Veronica. We have more good news, too. A lot of local industries seem to be bouncing back to pre-pandemic operations. Theater goers in Denver will soon no longer have to show proof of a negative COVID test or wear a mask inside. The Colorado Symphony, Opera Colorado, Colorado Ballet, and the Denver Center for Performing Arts announced they will lift requirements at the end of the month. And after a 2-year hiatus, Coors' famous Golden Brewery Tour is coming back on Friday. They closed their tours back on March 13th of 2020. There are a few new rules, though. Anyone 6 and older will have to provide proof they've received the COVID-19 vaccine, and group sizes will be limited.
Well, if you're looking for a job in the hospitality industry, Vail Resorts announced plans to increase the starting wage for employees next season. According to Summit Daily, the starting wage will be $20 an hour for employees at all of its U.S. resorts. This includes Breckenridge and Keystone. The 2 resorts currently have a $15 an hour minimum wage. And ski resorts in Summit County are busy. They're picking up a lot of snow. Several have passed the 200-inch mark for the season. Those include Breckenridge and Copper Mountain. Katie LaSalle joins us now. And Katie, more snow is on the way for the high country.
It is, Micah, but not today. It's going to be sunshine and very mild temperatures, climbing to the upper 40s, spots like Aspen and Vail, which have also extended their seasons. But here comes that next weather maker. It'll start to bring snow to our northern and central mountains and across the metro area for Thursday. More on our snow totals when we come back.
And the city's waking up, and you can tell by our roads. Air Tracker 7, this is above 25 and 270 right now. People starting to get out and about. I have everything you need to know on your drive times in the metro right after this.
Sounds good, Colette. Rising gas prices are forcing you to pay more for the services you love. The popular company adding a surcharge.
Plus, the Broncos have their quarterback in Russell Wilson. Now they're focusing on defense. We'll introduce you to the linemen who could be suiting up for the orange and blue.